Hi everyone, Kareen Erbe here with Broken Ground, and I'm here in my kitchen, no longer outdoors since it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit outdoors with a bunch of snow on the ground. But today I wanted to talk to you about what I do in January to prep for the garden season ahead. So first of all, the first thing that I do in January, and it starts kind of in December during the holiday season, is I rest. I take an opportunity not to think about the garden at all. And Catherine May in her book Wintering, right, talks a lot about this, that wintering, especially for those of us who have 4 seasons, we are kind of taught to be consistently productive spring, summer, fall, winter. And I think our bodies, what they really want to do is kind of go inward and sip tea and read and, whatever, but they're not really in action all of the time. That's not what our bodies want to do, and probably not what our minds want to do after such a busy growing season. And especially if you live in a cold climate where the growing season is super short and you're just going for, from basically April through to October, I find that it's really important to take some time just to rest and rejuvenate. So that's the first thing that I usually do when winter hits, is that I rest and really appreciate not having to look outside and think about 50 different things that I have to do. The second thing that I do kind of later in January is I start to organize my seed starting station, so to speak. So that's downstairs in our basement for us. So I'll organize all of my seeds and kind of get things prepped to start seeds that I usually start oftentimes in February. Organize seeds and also see and identify whether I need to purchase any seeds. And if I do, then I will be doing that usually by the end of January. So that's my second thing that I do. And then the third thing that I do is I usually take out a paper calendar, and it's usually one of those like free random calendars that you get anywhere. Like you do you can also do this digitally, but I'm definitely an analog person. And so I take out a calendar and I start mapping out when it is that I'm going to start my leeks or onions indoors, when it is that I'm going to start my tomatoes indoors, and then also when I'm going to transplant all of those things outside, when I'm going to plant my certain things that I plant from seed outside. So you're basically mapping out your entire growing season and putting dates to it. Now, of course, that may change, especially with things that you're planting outside as the season progresses, because it's going to depend on how the season progresses. But at least it gives you a little bit of a structure around which to organize your days. And so usually I'll look at the week ahead and be like, oh, okay, I'm starting these seeds, so I have to get these certain supplies, or it could be that I already have those supplies. But putting things on the calendar helps in terms of time management, and it helps in terms of the mental energy that you would otherwise spend just worrying about when you're going to do that. So that's what I would recommend. And usually, I'm looking at a calendar from the previous year to see when I did a lot of that stuff. So a lot of it's automatic, but there might be some different changes that I'm going to do this year. So those are the 3 things that I do in January. Not a huge amount of effort, knowing that I need to conserve that energy for when it's go time. But again, resting, drinking a lot of tea, reading a lot of books that I've wanted to read and don't have time to do during the growing season. And then planning and prepping my seed starting area and seeing whether I need to purchase any seeds. And then lastly, actually physically putting things on a calendar as to when all of that is going to happen. So let me know what you do in January for your garden prep. And as always, if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments below. All right, thanks so much. Bye.